Howdy, I'm Richard Jost, and I'm talking to you from my office in New Mexico. And my daughter Amanda is here to help tell the story. And the story is going to be the house of the century. This whole kind of an idea of people getting together, building something, started back when I was in college. We had a group of 5 students, packed up our gear, built this model, and built a studio in Vermont. At that time I met Doug Michaels, who was out in Washington, D.C. And he was interested in what we were doing. I got a chance to see what he was doing. So that was our first contact. After I moved from Colorado to California, I called Doug, who was out in San Francisco. He had an office out there, and wanted to touch base with him. And he invited me to come out to his studio, which was on a pier in San Francisco. And he told me this opportunity that was presented itself to him. And he asked me if I wanted to join in with Antoine to help design and build a retreat for Marilyn LeBettman. The thing that was really different about it, not just because it was a Doug Michaels and Antoine project, but the choice was Sparrow Cement. And I think Doug and Chip probably were talking with Marilyn about very kind of organic material to build with. So Gaudi was the inspiration of this project. So we wanted something very organic, very fluid. Doug and I started this communication of the design process, and he showed me the model of the first design concept of the retreat. When I saw this, I thought, well, okay, we're going to build this. I didn't say it quite like that. I sort of went through it, thought about how cool it would be if something like this actually existed, but I couldn't connect the two. How am I going to build this? So I said, Doug, we need to simplify. This is just too freeform. We don't have 1,000 Spanish craftsmen to help us build it like Gaudi had. We had to build this ourselves with a crew of, what, 5 people. So I said, Doug, let's simplify it. So he came up with another model. And it was another really fun solution. On this one, it had a stainless steel slide that opened up into the loft, the master loft. You get out of bed, slide down the stainless steel tube, and a pile of pillows in the living room. Sounded like a lot of fun. But when eyes turned to me again, it says, okay, now what? So again, I said, we need to refine it more. So then another model came out, more drawings, floor plans, sections, elevations, and they're beautiful drawings. We had a meeting with Alvin and Marilyn, put them up on the wall, talk about it, and then of course there was the idea that, well, how much is this going to cost? And that's when the attention turns to me. And I said, well, I think we need to simplify it a little bit more without even doing any kind of cost. How do you analyze the cost of something like this? You can't. So back to the drawing boards, I said, Doug, we need to really simplify it. And then Doug actually came up with this design, which is actually very similar to an inflatable he had done years before. But it was very simple in concept. It was a living room dome on one side, a kitchen on the other side, a tower that had the bedrooms in it, and the bathroom on the very bottom floor. And I said, that's it, let's do it. And so then it was the problem of how we're going to do it. And first of all, we had to translate this little three-dimensional model into a three-dimensional grid. So we sliced the model to scale 3-foot increments. And this is what the pieces look like of the model. And then with graph paper, I was able to construct this with the vertical contours, and by drawing horizontal lines at every 3 feet through these contours, I was able to define where the points of intersection were, and thereby being able to construct the horizontal contours. And this is it's like a wireframe showing where the contour lines meets the skin of the shell. So this will give you a good idea of how the interior works with the exterior shape. You have the living room, of course, living room, dining room, kitchen. And then on the bottom level is the bathroom area. And then there's a level above that, it's a bedroom level for the kids. And then the top level is the master suite. And it was still hard for me to say how much it was going to cost. So the way to handle the budget was, well, we'll work for $5 an hour and we'll just build it. And that's the way it happened. We had the confidence that we were going to do this, and they just said, okay, go ahead.